Ladies and gentlemen, countrymen, Ugandans, thank you very much. You see, I don't do dailies. I don't read newspapers because apparently there are a lot of channels where I can get news, I can get myself entertained, I read articles when I want them, I do some bit of literature, I entertainment. I do everything almost in platforms that does not really want me to really read newspapers, and I don't pay attention to the latest newspapers coming up. But today I got surprised on a WhatsApp group where somebody shared a publication that came on the 24th of April this year. It is called a Pan-African Voice, and they claim to be the leading online newspapers. And I was like, what? The publication actually basically was talking about Norbert Mao's. They were questioning who is pulling the strings behind Norbert Mao's speakership candidature. That is what they were asking about. But what drew my attention was the dashboard. That dashboard of a phone which gives a summary. The Pan-African Voice claims that, according to their research, which is very highly questionable, with the most raw statistics I've ever seen being published in East Africa and probably Africa, is that according to their statistics, about 85% of the Christian groups in Uganda do not support Mao's candidature. 85% of the Christian group and 90% of the LGBTQ activists support Norbert Mao's candidature, and 50-50 in the DP where Mao is the President General. Now, I want us to look now into the detail of these statistics, because I don't know whether it is an intentional error, it is a fallacious argument, or it is a paid narrative. But now let us look here, Ugandans, because now they said Christian groups, but I believe that a Christian group is composed of Christians, and therefore by saying 85% of the Christian groups implies that 85% of Christians actually do not support Norbert Mao. That's the implication. Even if you talk about the groups, because I believe if it is a group, then the group must be consulted in its totality, not maybe group leaders and other things. So they are saying that 85% of Ugandans actually do not support Mao's candidature. That is what they're saying. In the latest census, Uganda's population was about 46 million Ugandans. We have 46 million Ugandans by that census. And the same census also placed Christians, which is basically comprising of these three major religions: Catholics about 37%, Anglican about 30%, and Protestants about 14.9%, which is about 81.9%. Christians comprise of about 81.9%. But for simplicity, I just use 80%. So let's say Christian comprised of 80% of Uganda's population. Okay? And Uganda's population is 46 million people, meaning Christians are comprised of about 36,800,000 Ugandans. So 36,800,000 Ugandans are Christians. And if 80% of Christians do not support Mao, it means the number of Christians who do not support Mao in Uganda is about 31,200,000 Christians do not support Mao. It means only 15% of Christians support Mao. That translates to only about 520,000 Ugandans. Now, let's keep this simple. The domain is not very important. I use it to bring the context home. But then, that 5,520,000 Christians represents 15% of the Christians, which is about 12% of the Ugandans. So basically, that statistics is telling us that only about 12% of Ugandans do support Norbert Mao. That is what they're saying. It means about 88% of Ugandans do not support the candidature of Norbert Mao. And this is where reality sets in. And this is where the trap comes very clearly in these statistics. Now, if you're saying that only 12% of Ugandans are supporting Norbert Mao, and there are about 5 candidates coming up. So when we now see the other 88%, now let's get to public opinion. What does the public opinion say about the candidates? Who are the front runners in this race? By public opinion, whether you go on X, you go on social media, what is the popular opinion? Norbert Mao definitely is a breakaway front runner, according to public opinion. And that's why he was very confident. He said the other time he's about 70. This rating has never fallen below 70%. And I want to agree because I follow on social media across all the social media platforms. Norbert Mao's rating is so high. And then if you say it's not about 12% of Ugandans who support Norbert Mao, and yet in the public opinion, Mao is a breakaway front runner. So the question is, how did you arrive at the Christian groups? Because this is where statistics can be flawed to just push a narrative which is a propaganda against someone, but it is not actually mathematically rigorous. You see, when it is a trusted publication, it should be something that is rigorous and can be repeated. Somebody can still do a similar and get a similar finding. But if it is just meant to push a narrative, then it's okay. But what they have done disobeys mathematical laws, because I'm very sure no one is going to replicate this kind of studies. So now, 12% Uganda support Mao. Mao shouldn't even be a question in this race. By now, he shouldn't be talked about. But guess who is being talked about the most when it comes to this speaker's race? It's not a Mao. So that means this so-called Pan-African voice is just bunches of idiots trying to make ends meet through false publication, which we must condemn to the highest point, because they push a wrong agenda to Ugandans. Right now, what I know is Ugandans' opinion about the speakership is that the idea is every Ugandan wants a corruption-free parliament. And apparently, for those ones who are in the race, looks like Norbert Mao has all the track records to be believed as somebody who can bring parity and sanity to the Aga's house as the head and that as the speaker. I think we need better things, okay? As for the LGBTQ thing, it's obvious. Anita Mong was credited for the anti-homosexuality bill that was passed in Parliament because it was in her era. But it was not only down to her, it was down to every MP and every Ugandan who are actually pushing the MPs to pass that strict law. So she can't really take credit for it. Now, if you see she was the head and the law was passed during her era, definitely the LGBTQ activists would definitely hurt her. And they are more likely to support the person they feel he has a better chance of beating her in the race, and that is Norbert Mao. So it is not Mao being facilitated by them, but them maybe supporting Mao. Of course, now in this case you can't choose who should support you and who should hate you. They come natural, and I think when among the very many, the plethora of supporters of Norbert Mao, LGBTQ activists are also part of it. It comes naturally. It's not like Mao trying to call it, and it's not like them trying to pull the strings. If they could not pull the strings during the law amendment, can they pull the strings now? To remove the speaker, it's near impossible, and that's fallacious. That is an abject lie. So that is what I saw, and I think publications should also carry with them some ethic considerations, because if you do something for breakfast like this, it doesn't look very good. But that's my take, and I think they are completely wrong, statistically not nowhere near rigorous. And we can't sit in this country as the people, as educationists, as people who have who are authorities in mathematics and statistical world, and observe some lunatic trying to mess up with the figures. It's really, really bad, and we are not going to accept that.